Xin chào everybody, my name is Viet and welcome back to week 3 of my training series here at Warwick. Fun fact, this is actually my second time recording this video because I recorded the first time and the volume was way too loud and you could barely hear me over the background music and stuff. So yeah, this is take 2, hopefully the last take. Speaking of last, this was also my last week here at Warwick. As a first year student, I have already packed and my room is completely empty. I don't even have my PS5 out, even though I'm leaving on Wednesday, which is like 3 more days at the time of recording. But yeah, I've mentally checked out of this university. I still have 2 more exams, Monday and Wednesday, which I've been revising for, and one of the reasons why I skipped Monday's session, as you can see this is Tuesday. And yeah, I was trying that B7 because I was on the new set, but it was hurting my tips quite badly, and I think you still see it, like it's eating through my skin. So I knew that if I wanted to try hard, which was the aim of this week, I had to try really hard on the board rather than on like set boulders, because plastic, like, it really eats through my skin, and like, especially like me, like someone with really sweaty hands, like I go through chalk really quickly. So yeah, the best way forward was to mainly focus on board climbing. I did try the black V5 in the mini cave that I was planning to do, like on my checklist, but sort of the same problem. So I knew that I would have broken my promise, and instead of doing 3 boulders, I've decided to do mostly board climbing. Here I'm trying bluefin tuna, and I'm just trying on the top section because I think I have the pogo pretty good. But yeah, I didn't really figure out like a good like end sequence or a start sequence either. But intuitively speaking, I think it would be like a low right start, and then you'd have to bump up right hand before going to the jug rather than starting somewhere else. That would make like most sense. And yeah, this is my last week, so yeah, I really wanted to give it my all and like finish off the projects that I had in mind at the gym, especially like since it would be like a really good way to like measure how strong I've gotten and like the progress I've had, comparing myself to like my first week here, which time has flown, and yeah, which is quite scary. But anyways, I'm thankful for a wonderful year of not many climbing injuries, and just like having a good time really, especially the accessibility to the gym. Anyways, it is Wednesday, and on screen you can see me working out with my hand grips. These are like quite light, I think they're like 5 kg or something, it's just like nothing, but it's really good just like get like the fingers like warmed up and blood flowing to my fingertips. Actually, like something I wanted to mention, during right before my exams, I would dip my fingers into like hot water, which would get my fingers like all ready and warm. I wonder if I could apply the same logic to climbing, because it really takes me like a good like 20 minutes to warm my fingers, like especially my middle finger, which is quite weird. Anyways, as you can see, I'm just trying some moderate moves, some moderate boulders which I haven't named, but yeah, some really fun moves, especially like the floating move into the sloper. And yeah, the main difference between my warm-ups and my like try-hard sessions is that when I'm warming up, I'm always trying to find like 2 feet, 2 feet. Like it's not too dynamic or like too committing, and like I'm not matching. I'm more like just putting my hands up to mimic that. Here is one of my favorite moves that I've made. I called it banana fish after the anime, also because the left hand that you dine into looks like a banana. I think that's only me that sees that. Anyways, this is such a good warm up, and I think like it's probably my favorite warm up that I tend to do when I'm warming up on the board. And one thing that you really have to do on this board is like you have to brush all the holds before you climb, because you know it's been like 24 hours since you last climbed. There's a lot of grease, a lot of like chalk on all the holds, especially like the slopers and the pinches where friction is key. Here I'm trying a like floating move into a 3-finger pocket. I'm starting off a pretty sharp crimp and a okay sloper. The foot is quite low, so you do have to like jump or like, yeah, you see me there dry firing. I was trying to take it too statically. I think I just need to commit a lot more on that move. But yeah. As for now, Bluefin Tuna is going to stay as a theory boulder, and I knew that it wasn't worth much of my time because I kind of learned the pogo move, which I was like basing the whole thing around. So as you can see on screen, I've shifted my focus to hash browns, which is my long-term project. I'm pretty sure I set it like near the opening like weeks when I was in Warwick, like term 1. So I've made the ramifications from last video, such as using the higher crimp. As you see, I'm still trying out the lower crimp, but yeah, I've decided that it's the higher crimp that I originally set with. And also the penultimate move is also the one that was highlighted, not the one I was aiming for. But yeah, hash browns is a really good marker for me, I think. When I first came to this uni, I was instantly drawn to the pinches. I knew pinches was my weakness, so I knew that was something I wanted to train. And I built a boulder just completely full of pinches, where I had to do like really competing moves and like fight against the pump. As you can see, I needed to brush that brown hold because I was really quite greasy. But yeah, so you start off in a quite tight position from a crimp and a pinch. Here is the first like fully committing move. You really have to aim it quite high, or else you won't be able to get the power off like the middle section. So yeah, doing a foot swap, aiming high, I get it, and then I do like a nice float move into this big pinch, which is literally only usable at the top. Then I work my feet up into this kind of scary final section. You're quite high up, and yeah, that move is the upper crux. But I knew that I could stick it in. Like, it's been a year, I've worked really hard for this climb, and yeah, I just took a rest and then tried my hardest really. Here, the secret is just like stay quite low and keep your feet on, and then yeah, finish on a victory jug, which is quite nice. So yeah, that is hash browns V5, which I'm quite happy to send after a whole year of training. And on to Thursday session. Now that I've sent hash browns, I wanted to make some other climbs that weren't like single move like gimmicks. So while I was in bed like late at night, couldn't really sleep, so I was kind of trying to replicate the double gas on move. So I've named this climb Plankton after the amazing character in SpongeBob. So I've given it 2 like sections. Here's the lower section, the like spin move that we've seen before, and then I get set up into this pocket, which allows me to go into the upper section. Here's like the floaty like crux, the lower crux. You really have to like not overpower, or like you're gonna get pumped up. So you have to really be careful with your accuracy and like how hard you like, you know, aim, or like how hard you want to jump into that hold. But it is like a good setup, so it's quite hard to overshoot. It's like quite easy to just misjudge how much power you need to use. And then here I'm working on the upper section after I get the pinch. Here, as you see, I cut loose. So I knew that I had to keep my left foot on in order to maintain tension in this double Gaston move. And here I'm just figuring out the final section of the boulder. I've chosen these two moves because they're quite low risk, but it's a good position. And here at the end, I found out that the flapper on the right, the bucket was too far, so I chose to use the two adjacent crimps and pocket, because pockets and slopers are one of my weaknesses. So I wanted to include those, but not like overkill. You get what I mean? So yeah, I am trying it from this like upper section to start, which wouldn't be a V5 in my opinion, maybe V4, because like you're just so much fresher. Like if you can keep the feet on here, like I'm really trying like digging my toes in. It's like quite doable. And yeah, the end move is quite hard. Like the pocket's too small to match, so I just chose the thing next to it. Yeah, but yeah, I did try to piece it all together from the bottom, but that was quite challenging. Like if you make a single slip up, like there, or you waste a bit of energy, you're gonna feel the pump really easily, and like it makes this like upper section extremely hard. Like I just run out of gas so quickly, and maybe it's partly due to how I rest as well. And I do think I need to rest a bit more for this, since it is like quite hard. It's definitely not on the limit, same as like hash browns. I think hash browns was the limit, or what I thought my limit was. And yeah, you see me, I'm fighting, trying to find my feet, but it's just impossible once you lose your feet. But yeah, end of the session, I forced Lucas to come board with me, and yeah, he was telling me, "Oh, Viet, you set so much long span stuff," which granted I do. So yeah, I was just setting some nice moves, trying to like just cool down, but also like have fun. This week was like aimed to be like try harding, like doing like max effort things, but it's also good to like not overwork your body too much or like burn out. I tried to go to this sloper, but it's definitely not designed for left hand. As you may have just seen, ex-Arsenal legend just walked into frame. Unfortunately, I did not get his autograph. But yeah, I'm trying it again from the bottom. But you can just see like I'm just struggling to like keep myself in check. Like I'm really like gassing out here. And even though in isolation these moves are easy, I just couldn't hold on to the like mini pinch. So on to Friday, which was my last session ever at Warwick as a first year student, rounding out my academic year. I do have 2 more exams, so wish me luck. But yeah, this was my last actual climbing session. And I knew I wanted to make a couple new boulders. Definitely not just like do planking over and over again. Especially because I've done it from the upper section, and I knew that I just needed a bit more rest, and I would have done it, so I wasn't too worried. So I made this climb called iPad Kid, which at the beginning was just like a bunch of like fun dynamic moves which made no sense off like some pretty okay holds. I'm using the brown pinch from Bluefin Tuna because I really like that hold. But yeah, here I'm just figuring out if I needed this jib to like move up to a good left hand. I've named it iPad Kid because I am an iPad kid, and sometimes when I'm really bored, I will bring my iPad to the climbing gym, which I don't think is a problem anyways. I do end up not using the jib because yeah, I didn't want to use this pocket really. It was way too shallow, like to be holding it in that angle, and especially because I just wanted something that was like more fun than anything. So here I'm still doing this like launch off my right foot, and like I'm still trying out like what right hand, or I mean what like hold I'm going to even. I think here's when I like, never mind. Oh yeah, well I do aim for the alien hold, which is what all my friends call it, the alien pinch. But what I needed to do, which like I figured out quite slowly, which is quite bad, was to swap my feet here and just like stand up rather than dynoing. But yeah, it is quite a hard move if you don't keep the tension. So I just fall off there, like not expecting to do it. Yeah, the actual boulder itself is quite nice. You get a pocket and a really good pinch to start off. Then you're into this section. I fell off that jug because I was like holding it like sideways. I just needed to go like straight in with my fingers, like dig my fingers in. But yeah, since we have that jug, I use the opportunity to do a really nice dyno move into another jug, and then quite a comfortable finish. I would give it V4 because it is high risk and the positions aren't too easy. So yeah, I'm doing a walkthrough here. Keep the feet, which is really good, into the jug. And now I thought I was going to dyno off here, but it was way too far. So I just bump up again. Really aesthetic move, I think. Really nice. I really like how it looked. Yeah, really nice finish. Solid V4, I think. But that was not it. I also wanted to do a couple other climbs. So here I'm trying a new climb on like the left hand side of the board off a 2-finger pocket, which is definitely a weakness of mine. As I keep saying, pockets and slopers. I've named it Crunchy Nut because it's my favorite cereal of all time, and also my mom's favorite cereal. I actually have a box right here, which I need to finish actually soon. But yeah, the start position is quite tight, and the pocket I'm going to, like the light one, which I highlighted before, is quite hard to aim into, so you have to be really accurate. And it is designed for 3 fingers, I think, because it's like you can see the dimensions are quite smaller than the 4-finger. But really, the only way I could like hold it was to use all 4 fingers, like jam it in, which actually didn't feel too bad. And here I'm trying the upper section. I'm doing another like fun like dyno move. I don't want to make it too challenging. The start is quite hard. The first move is quite hard because you're literally just like hanging off 2 fingers. Then you have to aim it really nicely. And yeah, the next 2 holds are really sharp but also quite in cut. So as long as you cut your nails, you'll be fine, which I didn't. But anyways, nice dyno into the pinch. And here I was really fighting the swing, so I knew that wasn't a try, but I knew that I had like the level to do it. So yeah, get the sloper, work your feet up, and yeah, that move is quite low percentage, and I was getting quite frustrated on it. But I just knew I needed to take a couple good rests. I don't like rush. You can see getting quite angry. But anyways, this is the breakdown. I've decided to give myself quite good feet because it is a dyno and it's quite risky being so high up the wall. But yeah, I think V4 is quite fair. It's quite a fun set of moves, and it's quite, I wouldn't say hard, but I think it's quite complex to be able to like figure out the micro beta to get to the pockets and like set up for the dyno. But it's still V4 in my opinion. And yeah, that rounds out my Warwick climbing journey so far. I've only started this YouTube for 3 weeks, but I want to keep going, like pushing and like tracking my progress. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching my videos. Like, it's really nice, like in person, getting the comments from my friends, or like being able to talk to my friends or my family, like seeing my family in Vietnam, like watching my videos on their TV, like so nice to see. So yeah, I just want to say thank you, and I hope you all enjoy your summer. If you haven't started climbing, please try climbing. It's life changing, really. And yeah, thank you for watching. See you next time.